Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It is November 6th, 2020. I am not going to be doing a video on current events because I felt this video, I was really pulled to do this video. So we're going to do the beginning video on understanding the higher self, the oversoul, the spirit, and how it works. I really feel like, everybody needs to know what's going on. So let's start with this. Something that you guys can think about on your own. That's not a theory, something that you've seen yourself. A child. You see children running and having gobs of energy, and they're just, they're so happy, and they're just beautiful, innocent souls just running around with all this energy, and you're thinking to yourself, man, I wish I had that energy. I'm so tired all the time, right? Well, see, the whole deal through this is a human is born through the blood veil. That is our initiation, per why we get to have spirit, the real spirit. And the terminologies of soul and spirit, those are two very different things. Our spirit that's right here when we're born, that sits inside of us, that's our light, that is the spirit that you actually get from the one, okay? And there's many levels before you would even begin to understand who the one is. And it's not a god. It's not a deity. It's not something you worship. It doesn't want your worship, okay? How's the lighting? Is the lighting good for everybody? I hope so. I just felt like sitting in the office today. Got the Himalayan salt lamp going. Just good energy in my office. So I thought this would be a perfect place for us to just be. So what happens to us from being children? Like, what happens to our energy? Why do we grow older or age as we're taught? Okay, well, let's start from birth. Okay. At birth, you do the blood veil initiation. You have spirit in you. You have your soul, and then you have the meat suit, okay? A lot of people actually get tagged with vaccinations right after they're born. Vaccinations are loaded with mercury. And it doesn't matter if you've done any research on it or whatever. The truth is mercury does pass the blood-brain barrier. Science right now is trying to prove there is no blood-brain barrier. I'm going to call bullshit on that. And it actually affects the pineal gland in such a detrimental way that the spirit will start slowly coming up here. So you go through, and now the vaccinations are just absolutely crazy. They're way more than they were when I was a baby. What they're doing to the kids now, the spirit just probably goes, because they can't stay in this all toxic and chemicaled, but it's still with you. You don't lose your spirit. It is you. But you, because you can't handle all this. Then babies are taught, no, you can't do that. You can't do this. They're not allowed to just be free. And of course I did that with my children too. No, don't do that. Don't eat that. Don't bite that. Don't pick up that snake. It's a hard role to play, to not be constantly in that space with your kids. But you have to teach them what's going to hurt them and what's not, because we are on this plane right now. But here's where it gets worse. They go to school and they're taught to stand in line. They're taught to not talk unless they're spoken to. They're taught to not move. Well, you've got a spirit inside of a kid. They're like, they got energy and they want to go, and they're like, blah, 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 blah. My granddaughter's like that all the time. Me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And she's got so much energy. She still has this in her for the most part. And she's got lots of energy. And we would have bounds of energy if we still had ours completely in here. But like I said, ours is up here, right? That's what happens. And then they're taught to sit at a desk or a table for hours. Some schools are still allowing some recess. So some of them can go out to recess and, play maybe 20, 30 minutes. And then they have to sit back and be quiet and take in information that is all regurgitated generational information nonstop bullshit that most of them aren't even interested in. They're not getting taught, they're not getting said, like if I looked at my granddaughter and said, honey, what would you like to learn today? She would say, I want to go for a bike ride and I want to go meditate by the river we were at the other day. And I want to see that caterpillar again. And I want us to look up what kind of caterpillar that is and learn its name and that kind of stuff. That's what interests her. Schools don't do that because they don't care what you want. They don't care what your children want. Their goal is to constantly bombard the spirit, which most of them don't even know they're doing that, with bullshit. Yes, kids need to learn addition and subtraction and multiplication and division and to read in order to have any survival in this plane, because that's what it's all about. They're going to school to learn how to survive a situation that tells them that they have to pay bills and work a job that most of them are going to absolutely hate for the rest of their lives, probably not have a retirement, and then they're going to die and not be able to leave very much to their children. Stress, 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 stress. Where again, the spirit goes. Do you guys ever think about all that? That is how we lost our energy. And then if you have a life that's full of stress and chaos and constant worry, it even makes you more tired when you get older. You're just constantly battling fatigue and exhaustion. And as a detox specialist, you know, I'm all about the adrenal glands, getting the kidneys filtering, and working on the endocrine gland system as a whole. Because hormones are a big, they're like up there in the number 2. There's 3 things in a body, and the endocrine gland system is like number 2. Like, it's so important, guys. And isn't it funny, too, when you look at it, that most of the products that we eat, drink, and put on our skin have plastics and other chemicals that are endocrine gland inhibitors. Like, they can literally stop your hormones from functioning properly altogether. Per why people get the C words, well, I can tell you more about the C word. There's other reasons why the C word is even in our vocabulary now, and it is dark. But you have these endocrine gland inhibitors and things that are going to calcify your pineal gland, which this is a real deal. Look up the human body and the endocrine gland system and you'll find the pineal gland. The pineal gland is actually the spirit eye. That is not Luciferian. That is not New Age. That is a fact. This, your imagination, it is what helps you travel places and be more psychic. And by the way, being psychic is not a bad thing either. That's more bullshit from religion. Oh, and let's go to religion. Let's do that real quick. I was a Sunday school teacher for a Southern Baptist church for a long, long time. My kids went to church. I was taught that, and so were my children, that we're sinners when we're born, which is bullshit. You're an innocent when you're born. That there is a man that sits up on a throne above us and is judging everything that we're doing and keeping tabs on everything, like the Akashic records. And if we don't do what we're told, we're going to go to a place that's going to burn us for eternity. So you better do what you're told. I mean, if you put any critical thinking into any of this, it's barbaric, I can't even think, it's terrible. I can't think of that word right now. There's so many things that we do to our kids, and there's so many things that have been done to us, and then we're done to our parents. You know, you start reading in a book about crazy stories that really people don't understand. You're not supposed to see those as literal stories, but a lot of people aren't even taught to use their intuition and to the gut brain. You know, I've been teaching for years. There's 3 brains in our body. You have the brain, the heart, the gut. Well, your gut is being completely tackled right now by wheat, well, let's just say glyphosates, and other chemicals that are keeping you from having good bacteria in your belly. People are dying left and right from the C word in the colon. And you can't think clear because your gut's not working right. The gut is a huge part of how it makes everything work. See, when all this was put together, the spirit was supposed to stay intact. So you had the intuition, you had the ability to go, no, that's not what I need right now. What my body needs is this. My body needs hydration. My body needs this. Whereas now it's like, okay, well, these are my options. So I'm going to go ahead and have that Snickers candy bar and that Coca-Cola because I don't want that no tasting water. I hear that all the time. No tasting water or a piece of fruit. But if they could tap into their gut brain, the gut would be like, no, I would really prefer that filtered water, distilled. Hopefully that's what you guys are drinking. And I would like some coconut water and maybe a smoothie. But we don't do that because by the time we get old enough to make our decisions on foods and things, we're usually very stressed out, very tired. And let me tell you something, the stress is another way where the spirit's just like, we weren't supposed to be stressed like this. We weren't supposed to be working and trying to make $2,000 a week so that we can cover these crazy bills so that, and then you got the consumers out there who think they have to buy the best of the best and get this and get that and get this for their children, which is another way you're teaching your children that it's not about what's in here. It's about what you're wearing and how you look. And, I'm all about looking good too. I get it. I'm not saying that I'm perfect either, guys, but there is an agenda here to get your spirit to not be inside. So now you understand what is the beginnings of how this has happened to you and what is happening to your children or the people that you care about. So I'm going to share one more thing with you, and then I'm going to tell you a trick that will show you it's not a theory if you're willing to try it. And I'm not telling you have to, but I've done it and it's worked for me. And this is all on a spiritual level. And, excuse me, I got allergies so bad right now. We went from like 30 degrees to 70 and but if you learn about the archonic agenda, and that's the terminology I choose to use, and how they want to keep us always in a very stressed, fear-based, energetic level so that they can suck the luge from us because they need our energy to keep going. That's how they survive. So they have to have us. But they want to keep us with our heads in the sand and our butts up in the air all the time, scared, stressed, angry, upset, so that they can get that luge from us. Another reason why you're so tired all the time. And I'm pretty tired today too, and I slept a lot last night. But I think I'm finally getting caught up on some sleep because I took a vacation. But I went to the spiritual community that was close to me when I was detoxing. Detoxing absolutely will help your spirit to come back in as much as it can. Eating high vibrational foods like your fruits and your veggies and all that, and coconut water. I don't like it by itself, but if I put it in a smoothie, it's all I drink is coconut water. You clear up your gut brain and you clear up your body. Your pineal gland will clear up as much as possible to where you can start connecting to the right things. But you have to know this. This is important. Archons, they're in the fourth density. And a lot of people believe we're in the fourth density per why the veil is so thin. I'm having people come to me now that have never had any experiences experiencing all kinds of crazy things, and they're not that great of experiences. This isn't uplifting, happy, joy kind of experiences that I'm being told. And it's because the veil is so thin. So I want you guys to think about something. This is going to trigger a lot of you. But in the spiritual community that I went for a little while to hang out with and just see how this all works, I went from religion to spiritual, which the word spiritual is overly used. I don't know what the right word would be for that community, but I think most of you will get this as I continue. They would tell people that Archangel Michael is here. He's going to protect you from now on. You will feel no more pain. You will heal. You will heal, Nobody was healing. And I actually felt a lot of very negative presences around these people. So what's the word archon again, Bridie? And archangels? There's something going on there. Might want to put that one together. And if we're in the fourth density and the other 3 planets supposedly have exploded, or other 3, because that's what they say, and that's all a theory. I really don't know, but I do know the veil is thin because I'm having a lot more experiences, and I'm having to do this tool that I'm going to share with you more and more lately. Back in the day, as growing up as a kid, I always had that feeling. I could feel when something was around me. I could tell. And in my dream time, I would travel, but I didn't see a whole lot of cool stuff. I saw some cool stuff, but the majority of the presences around what people back in the day would call the fourth density, supposedly where we are now, I always considered it Satan. I thought I was fighting Satan, and I was always fighting as a little girl. Always fighting Satan, trying to save everybody. Anybody else experience that? Yeah, I was dealing with the parasites. I was dealing with the archons, what some people would call the Nephilim, or maybe even the Anunnaki. And those are some scary words, you know, but just, this is just human words, okay? And what we were taught in the Bible and other books. But I battled all the time. So in my awake time, when I was around like my sister or my brothers or my dad or whatever, they would always think that I was stupid. But I wasn't stupid. I was processing what happened the night before and trying to make sense of it. And I knew I couldn't talk to anybody about it because they already thought I was stupid. So I can't tell them this stuff. Then they're going to say, oh, she's just crazy. And I mean, I was a little girl. How do you even begin to share those things? So as I'm detoxing, which, think about it, I did that almost all my life. I started detoxing at 38 years old. A lot of things became very clear to me on where I was going, what was going on, and what was around me. So I put this tool to work just to see what would happen. And I'm gonna warn you guys, if you like the whimsicalies all the time, the constant chatter, the constant in your face, trying to tell you which way to go because you can't think for yourself, this is probably not gonna work for you. But if you wanna feel truly that it's just you controlling you, try this, okay? When I would feel something around me, I would say, do you have my best interest in mind? And if you don't, you have to leave. And if you don't leave on your own, then I will make you leave. And it took months to get them all gone. I was inundated with the parasites. They were sucking my energy left and right. When I started putting that work together, my detoxing started doing this. 130 pounds, gone. Anxiety, gone. Depression, gone. I was doing my glandulars. I was raw vegan. I was studying. Luckily, my dad was working. He let me stay home. I got to go to the gym, and it got to be all about me because my boys weren't little babies anymore. For the first time in my life, I wasn't taking care of my dad. Well, I was still taking care of my dad. I can't say that. But I wasn't having to do what I usually had to do that got me to the point I was at. Once you start telling them they can't be around if they don't have your best interest in mind. And remember, when you're dealing with these parasites, you're not dealing with humans that work off the heart. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of humans that don't work off the heart too. You are dealing with entities that do not work off the heart space at all. They give two shits about the heart. Okay, these are the same entities that cause war, famine, disease. But they love to give you that whimsically feeling and make you feel like you're in control and that you're psychic and you're this and you're that. You try this and put it to work. Things will get so quiet, it will scare you if you're anything like I was. You'll be like, I can hear myself think. I'm in control now? What do I do with me? It got scary, freaked me out. I didn't get the tinglies up my spine when something would come in. I didn't get that over my head. You know, I didn't get all those feelings around me. It literally was all gone, and it was just me. And it took a while to get used to that. And lately, I have been having things wanting to come back around. Do you have my best interest in mind? If you don't, you need to leave. And if you don't leave, I'm going to make you leave. No, I don't want to do this with any of you anymore. If you don't have my best interest in mind, you have to leave now. Some of them are pretty stubborn, and you just have to keep pushing forward. And of course, you know, if any of you need any of my help, please contact me, leave a message below. You can find me on Facebook. I'm more than happy to help. Yes, I am a big person on sage. My heritage is Native American and Celtic Irish. And you can do your sage and meditate and make them go. If you don't have time for that, if you're truck driving and doing all kinds of stuff, just literally when you're driving, go, do you have my best interest in mind? And you need to recognize that it's not you. It might be something else that's in here doing this. You have to leave If you do not have my best interest in mind, you have to leave now. Enjoy the silence and get to know yourself again and watch the healing happen. You guys will experience amazing healings. So now, after you've watched this video, I hope that this gives you some input on why you are the way you are now. During my healing process too, I wanted to share one more thing with you. A lot of things would come up about abuse or whatever, neglect, going hungry as a kid. And I would tell myself, Bridie, he did the best he could with what he had at the time because he was messed up too, or she was messed up too. Came from many directions, and I had to forgive everybody, but it took a long time. It's not something that happens in 24 hours. This is work, the real work. And eating healthier and putting in, healthy, hydrated foods and drinks in your body, it will help. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass because literally in the times we live in right now, excuse me, we are literally inundated with metals. And the reason for that is because not only can they cause the inflammation response, which then will cause the fungus response, which then will cause all these other diseases, but it takes down your critical thinking, it takes down your God sense, we all have a connection to the true source, and they want that gone. It's just like talking about in the upcoming vaccinations and the quantum dot and the hydrogels and stuff. A lot of people have said that they're trying to get rid of the God gene that's within all of us. Now, we could all chat about this on whether you think that's the spirit or is that something inside the brain? Is that a genetic code that we have through our bodies? I mean, that could go many ways. And I will tell you that years ago, I researched something that they were going to put in the chemtrails that they wanted to dump on nations to get rid of the radical religious beliefs, just completely take out the God gene. I don't know if they necessarily did that, but I will tell you that it has been really strange to me that I'm not hearing about terrorists so much anymore, and I'm not hearing about all the crazy religion stuff, except I did hear, and I think it was in Turkey, that they are beheading Christians again. But I can't verify that. That was just something that I had heard on somebody else's YouTube channel. But I hope this video will help you guys kind of understand the true war. Okay, it's not a war between you and your brother or your sister or somebody that you met yesterday or the black person, Mexican person, Indian person, or whether they're gay or not. That's just what they're telling you the war is, and you're buying into it. The real war is your spirit. That is the real war. To keep you zombified so that you'll give them luge and do what they want you to do. And once you stop all of that, and you can start looking at people and just realizing that they're just like you, but they've been inundated with this terrible, terrible agenda that's been going on for many, many, many lifetimes, guys. Like, I don't even know if you guys believe in reincarnation, but I got to tell you, the more I'm researching and the more I'm understanding, we have literally been here for a while and they continuously harvest. And that's why we're born with the amnesia, which is going to be another video. Well, I hope this helps you guys understand some things better. Remember that you're special because you did go through the blood veil of initiation. That you are spirit with a soul that your soul, and I wouldn't even say it's necessarily our soul. I think it's a shell of us, this body. But that traps the spirit, and then the meat suit traps the soul. So we're binded here. And if you go into any other literatures and understand bindings, it is black magic, M-A-G-I-K, not the kind that you were taught in TVs. Anyways, there's so much more to talk about, but I've got to get to the gym and go get my granddaughter and maybe do something about these allergies because today they're really bad. Honey, I know you guys are going to tell me honey in the comments. I appreciate that. And I just did my vitamin C special drink too, my ascorbic acid drink. So I'm staying on top of it. But I wish you guys all the best with this. I hope this answered some of the questions that some of you have had about how this works. And obviously, you know, if you have a video idea that you would like for me to do, please just leave it in the comments. And I wish you guys all the best. Things are getting a little bit more weird around here, aren't they? Go touch a tree, go ground. That's not Luciferian. That's not New Agey. It works. I'm showing you guys things that I've put to work. I can go out and touch my tree Leonardo when I'm having a really bad day, close my eyes, and just try to let it all go for just a couple of minutes. And I really do feel better. And I feel more balanced, right? So these are things that actually work for me. I'll talk to y'all later. You have a great day. Bye-bye.